Alright, so here we are back in ZBrush. With my Photoshop roadmap up here in the left-hand corner, I'm ready to start blocking out the various pieces of my base mesh. So the first thing that I'll do is start with a ZBrush sphere, and I'm going to turn this into a low-res Dynamesh object pretty quickly right off the bat. So get rid of my upper subdivision levels, lower my resolution, and then Dynamesh that sphere. I keep my tools very limited at this stage. You'll see that I pretty much only use the move brush and various polish brushes for quickly flattening out an area. At this point, it's important not to be focused on any kind of detail work and just get a general sort of rhythm and volume to the shapes that I'm looking for. Using the H polish brush, I can quickly plane out areas where I'm going to connect the neck and the arms and the legs. Before getting sucked into doing too much detail, I want to make sure that all of the pieces of the body are represented. So using Insert Sphere, I can draw on 2 more spheres, which I can use for the legs. Once I pull these spheres into place, it's time to Dynamesh them again, but I don't want to combine them with the body. If I turn on the wireframe here, you can see the polygroups. And by turning on the Groups option in Dynamesh, every object that's not connected maintains its own independent Dynamesh resolution. Using the same process over and over of just inserting spheres and then pulling them into place, I continue to put the legs together. During this entire process, I'm only thinking about broad shapes. I'm not getting detail-oriented or specific with anything, including even proportions, until I have all the pieces represented. While constructing the various parts of the body, I want to keep everything as simple as possible and not focus on any sort of detail. I insert another sphere to use for the head and then quickly pull that into place. I'm keeping all of these objects, the legs, the arms, the head, as part of the same subtool and just using polygroups to switch between them and mask. At this stage, it's much easier to keep it all as one subtool instead of many subtools that I have to switch between. Just a very rough and basic skull shape is all that I need at this stage. Arms are constructed in the same way that the legs are, just inserting a sphere and then using the move brush with a large radius to push and pull the shape around until I'm happy with it. Oftentimes I'll have an extra piece of geometry to represent the shoulders, the deltoids, because I find that area moves around a lot and you can get some very complex shapes. It's completely personal preference and you will find a way that works for you, but by keeping arms and legs and head separate, I'm able to control the resolution of each of these pieces independently until I'm ready to either combine everything back together or retopologize over my mesh. This also makes selecting between different objects much easier. Even the hand I keep as basic and gestural as possible. I just want to indicate the shape and relative size and proportion of a fist. So I have all of the pieces of my base mesh blocked out now, according to my Photoshop roadmap. At this point, I'll spend some time pushing and pulling everything around and fit it into proportions that more accurately fit the concept that I'm working from. And after a few more minutes of sculpting, I end up with something like this. And this is a good place to start for my final sculpt. So that's it, my approach to creating a base mesh for sculpting in ZBrush. Thanks again guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this simple demo of how I approach blocking out a character for sculpting, and I hope to see you again soon.